All right, good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping by for a check of your forecast. We are tracking some storm chances here over the next 48 hours or so. Other than that, it's going to get pretty hot heading into this weekend. We'll break down, whether or not we can get into the triple digits as well here in your live. But what we'll be focused on for today is going to be that chance of rain tonight and tomorrow. And unfortunately, it looks like there's going to be a flood threat with some of this stuff as we head into tonight into Thursday morning, just due to the progression of the cold front. It's really slow going right now, not making much forward progression. It's essentially stalled out. And so what that means is when thunderstorms start erupting along the boundary, we're going to start seeing additional storms develop, and they'll start training up that cold front from west to east. But if it doesn't have much forward motion, there's going to be some narrow corridors where we just get training thunderstorms tonight into Thursday. And that could lead to some spots picking up 3, 4, maybe even some locally higher amounts, close to 5 inches worth of rainfall overnight tonight. That's not going to be a big widespread issue. It is going to be very localized. It may only be a width of 20 to 30 miles. Maybe kind of a stretch of counties or a row of counties, but it is something that we are kind of concerned about, and that's what we'll be watching closely here over the next 12 hours or so. Here's your severe thunderstorm warning out there in Colfax County. Again, this is the only severe warning storm nearby. You can see they did issue that severe thunderstorm watch up in Colorado and parts of Kansas. That's going to be until 10 p.m. this evening. I really think our window of opportunity for storms is going to be closer to like 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. We probably could see a storm, a severe one, as early as 7 p.m. This one looks like it might be overachieving compared to the rest of the environment, but you can see again, there's that severe warning storm. Really nice cloud base, very high cloud base. The only threats for it would be 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, but as well as some very heavy rainfall. You can see the temperature is 84 in Boise City, 93 in Guyman. So that is where the cold front's at currently. It is somewhere in between both of these communities and is continuing to slowly, very slowly drift to the south. That's going to be the area to focus on for thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow morning. You can see the winds anywhere from around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Looks like that frontal boundary might be right in here, coming crashing through Guyman right now as we speak. So the temperature there may come down here, 5 or 10 degrees over the next hour or two. But the rest of us still with that south wind, still with some warm temperatures in the 90s. And you can see those dew points are primed for tonight. We actually have a lot of moisture aloft too. Our PWATs, or our precipitable water values, are in the 90th to 95th percentile, meaning these storms are going to be big rainmakers. It's going to be a deluge of water very quick. We're talking rain rates of 2 to 3, maybe even 4 inches per hour with some of these thunderstorms. So again, the concern is if they start training over the same spots and you get rain for 2 or 3 hours, you're going to have some flooding issues. That's going to be our primary concern for tonight. As far as the severe weather threat goes, quarter-sized hail's possible. Don't think it'll be a big issue. Winds up to 70 miles per hour, also possible. Don't think it's going to be a huge issue, though. The flooding is going to be primarily our biggest concern. So there's some of those storms up there near Union County. Again, I think the model has initialized this stuff very well. By 10 p.m., you can see we've got kind of a broken cluster of sub-severe thunderstorms. As we head into tonight, you see these just start training over the same spots. Again, it's probably going to be a narrow corridor, anywhere from the Oklahoma Panhandle and in probably those top 3 rows of counties. I think that's the areas that we're most concerned about that flood-prone threat. And more specifically from Cimarron to Beaver County to Ochiltree down to Hutchinson County, and then kind of west of there. That general area is where we think there's going to be that biggest threat or concern for that locally 3 to 5 inches of rain overnight tonight. By tomorrow morning, we may be dealing with some sporadic showers dissipating here around town. The HRRR does suggest that storms will persist or at least linger into sunrise tomorrow morning. Again, if we do get some scattered stuff along the front, maybe we'll pick up a half-inch of rain early on in the day if we get one overhead here in Amarillo. Then the front's going to stall out. The question is where exactly that happens. A lot of the times, models don't depict on how far south these things get. It's possible this gets all the way to Lubbock tomorrow evening, but it will probably try and retreat in the afternoon given the daytime heating and just the lack of steering flow. And we do have that ridge of high pressure helping funnel in some of that southeast flow from the Gulf, which should push this front back north. Whether it only gets to I-40 or if it retreats further north up there into the northern panhandles is still kind of that uncertainty right now, but it should be somewhere within the viewing area. and that's where we'll start seeing some of that afternoon convection get going around 4 to 6 p.m. You can see some isolated stuff trying to pulse up along the boundary, and then we'll get some westerly flow aloft to ride over the boundary as well in New Mexico, which is going to set off some more scattered thunderstorms up there in the northwest, which could be another area that picks up 1 to 3 inches of rain on Thursday night. So that may be another thing to watch out for the second half of this week. Some of us might get 1 to 5 inches of rain tonight, maybe a little bit of overlap in a few locations, a few counties like Dallam, Cimarron, Hartley County. Some of those areas may end up getting a deluge tonight, may end up getting a deluge again tomorrow. So that would be a flood concern by all means for you guys up there. As we move into Friday, we'll start off in the low 70s. It's going to get a little hot. We'll be in the upper 90s. I don't think we'll get into the triple digits, but it's going to be humid. Got that southerly flow. Storms probably isolated up there in the western panhandles again. Most of us should stay dry. I do want to show you your probability for some of this heavy rain to occur. It's not a guarantee for anyone, but if you're looking for that best favored area for maybe 2 to 4 inches of rain tonight, it's going to be the Oklahoma Panhandle. At least that's the thoughts and expectations as of right now. If the front continues to push further south here over the next few hours, all of this stuff may have to trend a bit further to the south. We may start dragging some of these ranges, to encompass places more like Dumas, Dalhart, Stratford, Spearman, Stinnett. Some of those areas, I'd certainly still be paying attention to the forecast. You may end up under some of those training thunderstorms this evening if that front continues on a southerly trajectory through the next few hours. For tomorrow, your probability for 2+ inches of rain, it's a little bit better here in Amarillo, but still pretty low. About a 1 in 5 chance that we have that occur. I think it's a much higher odds that we don't see much rainfall. But where we do see the rain develop, it's probably going to be a lot. So that's why we've got this 20 pop, which is really low. But there's going to be probably some pockets in there that do get 1 to 2, 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. So that's how it happens here in the summertime. Usually if it's isolated, it's going to bring 1 to 2 inches of rain for you. The rest of us miss that moisture that gets us by to the next week. So after we move into this weekend, we do have that invest down there in the North Gulf. It's expected to have about a 40% chance for tropical cyclone development here over the next 2 to 5 days. I don't really know if it's going to become a named storm, but if it continues to track to the west, we may end up seeing it in places like southeast Texas early next week, kind of underneath this ridge of high pressure. You can see this locally weaker, isobar here, just indicating maybe that low pressure feature, just kind of a tropical wave moving into South Texas that could bring some heavy rain early next week to a small section of the state. But here in the panhandles, it looks like we're going to be mostly quiet, but we will keep an eye on where this ridge ends up by the next end of next work week, because there are a few models that do have it trending back up to the northeast, and we end up with some troughing out here in the western U.S. And if we get that southwesterly flow, that is some of that Pacific moisture, that monsoon moisture setting up over places like Arizona, New Mexico. If this ridge gets pushed far enough to the east, maybe us here even in the panhandles could fall in play with some better storm chances. But for now, I would lean heavily towards above average temperatures through the next 6 to 10 days. I certainly wouldn't bet on cooler weather. And then if you're looking for rain, it's probably going to be very hit and miss until we see that major shift in the weather pattern. But overall, I think tonight and Thursday will be your best shot of rain for the next week to 10 days. Generally dry conditions expected for the next 5 or so after that. And you can see we've got you at 101 on Sunday and 100 on Monday. And it's going to be hot Saturday too, as well as early next week. So we've not seen the triple digits yet here in Amarillo, but that could change early next week. Make sure you stay hydrated if you're going to be outside. If you like biking or hiking down in the canyons and the state parks, try and get that stuff done early. It's going to be one of those weekends where I wouldn't cancel your plans, but I would definitely plan on staying hydrated, because it is going to be a scorcher out there. That's all we got for you. We'll probably go live later this evening just to cover some of those storms that move through the region. Again, it could be pretty late tonight when that stuff moves through. It may even persist overnight. And again, we'll just hopefully that front will have a little bit of some forward progression to it as we go into tonight, because if it doesn't, there will be that risk for 4 to 5 inches of rain in a